annual Quiet Green Achiever Awards, recognising the inspirational people whose actions support the environmental health of the region, doing so without seeking recognition or compensation. Before continuing, I wish to acknowledge that we hold this ceremony, this community gathering, this meeting on the lands of the first Australians of this region, the Freemake and the Kaurna nations. I would like to hope that they, our Aussie Indigenous elders, would concur with the spirit of our ceremony, our gathering and meeting today, in the name of continuing the song lines relating to the fundamental belief in care of our place and our planet. We, the AHNRC, are a community-led environmental information hub. Our aim is to encourage and support sustainable community actions for the conservation and protection of the biodiversity of the region. We have 6 Quiet Green Achievers to present to you this year. Despite being as diverse as our region, these 6 recipients share common attributes of enthusiasm, commitment, inspiration, passion, sharing knowledge and skills, positivity, generosity, teaching, belief, benefit to future generations, achieving, supportive, personal challenge, sustainable and active. I know that none of the recipients undertake their individual roles for any personal gain or reward. You just do it because you can, and believing that you are making a difference. We are honoured by your presence today. We are grateful to those who have nominated you. We do not make these awards to intrude into your private space, but believing that by making our society and our community aware that there are people like you who truly care, what's more, who are credible to their beliefs by walking the walk, we can develop trust in our community. Your leadership clearly empowers us all to aspire to the greater good. That example of your dedicated hard work has added to our society. You are hereby recognised and congratulated by our community. Modesty is possibly an attribute which you share too. Trust me, you're among friends. Without further ado, I invite our committee members to consecutively read the nominations. I'll start off first. After these words, I ask that the recipients come forward. Please take a seat, and then we will present the awards to you once we have all of the recipients here. Firstly, I'd like to read out the nomination for John Hammersmith. John? Come up here, John. John Hammersmith has been actively involved in community land care for some years as a member, and also chairperson of the Mid-Times Catchment Group, where he completed several successful projects in weed eradication and revegetation in the Cutler Creek area. John's biggest challenge came in 2008 when he purchased a 500-plus acre property adjoining his own. It was one of the most neglected and weed-infested and almost inaccessible pieces of land in the area, and John began a single-handed and extraordinary task in rehabilitating the land on a massive scale. John took a very scientific and planned approach to the problem, dividing the area into several different zones to be tackled, one of which was the 7-kilometre boundary. The property is the largest single privately owned block in the area and borders many others. These landowners had so much weed pressure encroaching onto their properties that they were overwhelmed and felt incapable of action on their own properties without this weed jungle that they had no control over. It also posed a huge fire risk. Every land care representative and professional advisor has toured the property and been dumbfounded at the scale of the problem and the commitment to address it by John, and most importantly, the resultant transformation of the property. This transformation is still ongoing, but many hectares of difficult country have been cleared and restored from creeklines, flats to almost vertical hills. Now that the property is accessible and opened up for survey by environmental officers, several significant sites of rare and endangered native understory have been identified. The next phase planned is rehabilitation of 21 hectare area containing some of these sites. John personifies the quiet achiever. Until recently, he has taken on this challenge without outside support. He has demonstrated an extraordinary commitment to the environment by undertaking this personal challenge. That would be regarded as near impossible and achieving astounding results. The transformation has far-reaching benefits to the neighbouring properties and the biodiversity of their region. Congratulations.
Okay, the next recipient is Liz Luna.
And Ray Chapel is our other committee member who's going to be.
Now, Liz joined the Friends of Black Hill Morialta in 2010 and later took up the position of treasurer. Liz was appointed the position of project coordinator for Fourth Creek Morialta in 2012. Liz is a very enthusiastic volunteer, organising weekly working bees, and her positive nature encourages community members to get involved in bush regeneration and caring for the habitat. Liz organises planting days to improve biodiversity in the park, the most recent event resulting in 2,000 trees planted before the rain was setting. Liz personally looks after a site in Morialta opposite the First Falls and contributes many voluntary work hours to work with the Morialta Climbing Club. Gaining the support of volunteers to undertake back-breaking work in difficult terrain takes a very special kind of leadership, and Liz has earned the trust and respect of the volunteers and her peers. Her quiet but positive nature and can-do approach to the many issues affecting Black Hill and Morialta Conservation Park encourages others to participate. Her passion for the environment means that she is continually upgrading her and updating her knowledge in schools, which she generously shares with others. Liz is also a member of the Harvest Hills Exchange, where she shares the bounty of her vegetable garden. Congratulations. Next person is Jenny D. Here you are. Okay, Jenny works with students at Crapers Primary School in a voluntary capacity, heightening the awareness of sustainability and the environment through her work, establishing the garden within the school grounds. A very important place to be. Jenny has established vegetable plots and developed other areas of the school in an environmentally sensitive manner, all the while involving and teaching students about the importance of caring for our environment. She also involves other students in the local land care projects. They're prepared to share her knowledge and develop student skills in sharing their knowledge with others. Jenny is heavily involved with other community projects and is part of the old school community garden, which enhances her ability to work with our students. She demonstrates a depth of knowledge about the local environment and works hard to ensure that future generations will have the knowledge to protect it. Thank you very much.
and he demonstrates this quality in a number of ways. In Mount Barker, where he lives, in the Burnside Council, where he is employed, and in the wider community. Andy lives on the outskirts of Mount Barker, on property, originally a dairy farm, and the transformation he's done to this property is outstanding, using his bush regeneration principles. He's also set up a classroom for tutors, for tutoring, to back up the field days, the walks and talks he has on his property, and it's gorgeous. It's in a small area, sinks in with the environment, surrounded by beautiful natural indigenous plants. He's no stranger to teaching the theories and practices of bush care. The classroom, either at home or away, at lecture theatres and conferences, speaking to community groups, organisations such as Trees for Life and the Native Grass Resources Group, and educational organisations. He's a well-respected speaker for his knowledge, enthusiasm, passion for the subject, and the way he can transmit what he wants to say to the audience. Over the years, he's established many regeneration areas throughout Burnside, and Andrew patiently teaches each new member the variety of skills needed to identify weeds that need to be removed and the plants that need to be protected, and fosters in them the passion for this work. Some volunteers work every week on a number of sites, and some work independently with Andrew's advice and support on an area important to them. Another program Andrew has set up was an annual giveaway of plants from the Burnside Nursery. This is to encourage residents to plant indigenous plants in their gardens. It's a cheeky way to get more plants. I know how you work, Andrew. Getting these indigenous plants everywhere you can will come with you. Some volunteers, again, learn more skills for assisting with this program. Although Andrew was recently resigned from the council, to the thrill of everyone, his commitment to the recovery of the environment and to the volunteers is made clear by the fact that he is continuing his work now as a volunteer himself. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Sandy McGregor. I have the honour of saying a little bit about Brian Hill. Brian retired in the early 1990s, obviously a very early and young retirement, to a heritage listed property in the Adelaide Hills called Tandera, a resting place. But at the time, it hasn't been much of a rest for Brian Hill. Brian and his wife Anne are now living their quiet, green, eco-green, achieved through tireless hard work, volunteerism and determination. They often rode their electric bikes to run errands, and those bikes had to be towed down the long gravel track to the road at Tandera. Brian made the property sustainable by adding veggie patches, rainwater tank systems and solar panels. He only learned to use the computer in the last 5 years of his working life, but now in his early 70s,